Good morning. Before we slide into the stillness of our silent meditation this morning, I'd like to prepare our minds and bodies using a technique called box breathing. Box breathing is a powerful tool used by high-energy performers and Navy SEALs to instantly clear stress. It regulates our breath into a steady 4-part rhythm. We're going to physically command our nervous system to calm down. We will use these breaths to build a bridge straight into deep stillness. So find a comfortable position. Take a moment to just feel your body. And let's take one deep breath together. Inhale fully through your nose, filling your lungs, and let it out through your mouth. Empty your lungs completely. Prepare to breathe in through your nose and then out in the way that's most comfortable. Let's begin our 4 cycles. So inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold that breath gently. 3, 4. Exhale smoothly. 2, 3, 4. Hold it at the bottom. 2, 3, 4. Cycle 2. Inhale through your nose. 3, 4. Hold that breath gently. 3, 4. Exhale smoothly. 3, 4. Hold it at the bottom. 3, 4. One more time. Inhale through your nose. 3, 4. Hold that breath gently. 3, 4. Exhale smoothly. 3, 4. Hold it at the bottom. 3, 4. Now let your breath return to its own natural, effortless rhythm. You don't need to control it anymore. Simply observe the cool air entering your nose and the warm air leaving. Your body is calm. Your mind is anchored. We will now transition into our period of silent meditation. Enjoy the stillness. invite you to slowly come out of the meditation, knowing you can go back to that stillness whenever you choose. Our service will begin in 10 minutes at 10:30.
Good morning. Before we begin our service, we light a candle for peace. With the lighting of this candle, we bring into this room the peace that is the foundation of the deeper truth running through everything, even when the world outside seems uncertain. Let's take this moment of silence together to honor our feelings and open our hearts to move this peace within and shine its light out into the world. Let the music begin.
San Jose. Let's take a deep breath in. Ha, you ready? Ready to praise Him? Exactly. Yeah. Ready? Here we go. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we see. Seeds. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Say it again. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love. We are the love that we see. We are the seeds. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest. We are the harvest. Let's do that again. Let's do that again. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we see. We are the love that we see. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest. We are the harvest. Oh, I am. Oh, I am. I am. That I am. I am. I am. I am. Oh, I We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we see. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we see. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Let's all say we are the harvest. We are the harvest we reap. Let's say we are the harvest we reap.
Wow, I love that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. My name is David Field. I'm a licensed practitioner here at the center, as well as one of your board members. My pronouns are he and his, and today I welcome you to our Sunday celebration in a spirit of great joy, because it's a beautiful day, and because you're here. That makes all the difference. Welcome. If you have not already, I ask that you please silence any devices you may have with you, so we can have our celebration without that interruption. I would now like to invite Debbie Slayton, our practitioner of the day, to come forward and call us into service.
Breathe in. Feel the love in your heart radiate out. And as this sound passes through you, you share your love with this room, and then let it spread as far as it can reach. prayer. As we take this moment to recognize the one power, the one God, the one grace and goodness that resides in and through all things, all people, all nations, all colors, all beliefs, one God, uniting us all, no matter what the disharmony could possibly be. There is harmony in each one of us. Tapping into that good, that God, that grace that I know that I carry because I know God lives within me, and therefore God lives within you. Taking this moment to recognize that goodness and how it can calm even the craziest day. The waves can be calmed, the winds can still, and it allows us to hear the bird song and hear the howls of the wolves and anything available to us that lets us know we are alive right now in this moment, and we are ready to share our love, to crack open and receive love at the same time, because a lot of times we can send it out, but do we allow it to come inside? No. Let's do it. Let's crack open. Let's be that love. Let's share that love with everyone, everything, and know that we are God's blessings on this earth. And it is our duty to share that love and our blessings and our truth, the truth of who we are. And for this, I give great blessings and great thanks, because that God that is within me is within you, and we recognize it. And I release this prayer into the action of the law, where all is love, all is grace, and all is goodness, because we are meant to be all that we can be, even if it's a little bit or a great. We are God's blessings. And join me in saying, and so it is.
God's blessings indeed. Our community is a place of belonging, calling all into their spiritual magnificence. We are companions on life's journey, expanding love's expression as we learn to become the presence of peace. We are beacons of light, living the principles we teach as we meet each other where we are. We are a safe space where hope and courage are explored and new beginnings are happening through radical acceptance of who and whose we are. Welcome home. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge all the volunteers that show up here on Sundays to make this whole service happen. There's a huge number of them, so thank you very much for all those who help us celebrate on Sunday. We realize that in today's trends, you have a lot of options for your spiritual food, and we are so grateful that you've chosen us to be your spiritual food for today. So thank you for coming. We welcome you, and if you're with us for the first time, I invite you to stand so we can welcome you and give you an information packet about us. Newcomers today? Well, hi, Nicole. She's not a newcomer, but we'll welcome Nicole anyway. If you feel inclined, there's a connection card in the seat in front of you that you can get a response if you wish to communicate with us. Those are also available at the concierge desk, and you can speak to the concierge after service when we have fellowship afterwards. At this time, I'd like to invite up Kimberly Scott and Elizabeth Jade from our praise team for an update on our search for a senior minister.
Good morning. I'm Elizabeth, and I'm representing the Ministerial Recommendation Committee this morning to give you an update as to what has occurred in the last month since Sean gave his update. We've got action, and it's really exciting. We have 2 candidates at this point that we're moving forward in the interview process. We have also been informed by Home Office that ministers apply close to the deadline, and there are at least 2 more that we are expecting to come our way. Yes. The committee is working hard and having a great time. We're feeling the excitement at the same time as we are diligently working hard. I want to take a minute and acknowledge that people are anxious. that people are excited, that people are overly curious, and that it's normal to feel that way when something new is about to occur. I invite you to take a deep breath with me. Remember our teaching. Remember that we know that all is unfolding in divine and right timing. We are holding the highest consciousness for CSL San Jose. And we begin every meeting and we end every meeting reminding ourselves of this role we are playing and staying in that highest consciousness and staying in prayer. We invite the community to join us in that consciousness, and Kimberly's going to help us with that.
Hello, lovely souls. On the fourth Sunday of each month, in place of our statement of being, we express together as a congregation our new minister sacred covenant, which seems to be working. Right? The sacred covenant is our prayer calling in our next senior minister. It accompanies the official job posting through the home office and is a clear and intentional expression of who we are as a spiritual community and who we are seeking to welcome as our next minister. It reflects our needs, our values, and our shared vision for the future. This will be a call and response experience. I will read 4 key statements from the covenant, each beginning with the words, "Our new minister." After each one, together we will repeat the same statement, beginning with the words, "I am." In doing so, we are bringing those qualities inward by affirming them for ourselves. The words will be on the screen so you can follow along. Please stand if you are able, and we will begin. Our new minister is sharing an authentic and meaningful message that inspires me to live a life grounded in spiritual principles. And I am sharing an authentic and meaningful message that inspires me to live a life grounded in spiritual principles. Our new minister is deepening my understanding of science of mind teachings and awakening my inherent wisdom. I am deepening my understanding of science of mind teachings and awakening my inherent wisdom. Our new minister is applying the power of love, wisdom, and affirmative prayer to reveal the truth of our wholeness. I am applying the power of love, wisdom, and affirmative prayer to reveal the truth of our wholeness. Our new minister is embracing the values, interests, and activities already held in our community and igniting new inspirations. I am embracing the values, interests, and activities already held in our community and igniting new inspirations. And so it is.
Thank you. And while you're standing, please take a moment to greet those around you. I'd love to see a good meet and greet going on. Thank you, Lil. All right. Now that you've had a chance to say hi to each other, wanted to just follow up on the Sacred Covenant. If you would like to see a copy of that, that's available at the concierge desk. Or if you have questions about the Sacred Covenant, please come out to the concierge desk after service and we'll be happy to share what we can about that. Now I would like to introduce our featured artist, our musical co-director, Reverend Queen Michelle Jordan, and our praise team and house band. Take it away.
Billions live their lives. Now Muhammad, Krishna, or the Buddha are the way. Some still believe it's right to say in the name of Jesus when you pray. We are a humankind of 7 billion. So many different races and religions, and it all comes down to one. Some say God's a him. Still many believe that he is a her. Does God live in our hearts? Or she's somewhere out there in the universe? We are a humankind of 7 billion. And so many different races and religions, and it all comes down to one. Ooh, how far will we have to go before we learn the lesson? Gandhi was a Hindu, Martin Luther King a Christian. Regardless of religion, they knew love was a mission. And it all comes down to one. No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah, do it. Is there no God at all? Or pantheon of gods up in the sky? We can heal our broken hearts if we give up the reason to be right. We are a mankind of 7 billion. So many different races and religions, and we all want the same things: health, love, prosperity, and peace. Tolerance is the seed, and the gift of pure acceptance is the tree. We are a humankind. And it all comes down to one. Ooh, whether you're red, brown, yellow, black, or white, man with a husband or a woman with a wife, we can debate until the end of time who's wrong, who's right. We can see ourselves as one, 'cause it all comes down to love. We are a humankind of 7 billion. So many different
races and religions.
Say it again, we are a humankind of 7 billion. So many different races and it all comes down to one. James Jeffley, Billy Johnson, TJ Paganini on Kunga, and Simon Russell. And the praise team.
Thank you. It's now my honor to introduce Reverend Dr. Nadene Rogers, who's joining us virtually today, concluding our June theme of Unify, Cultivating Inclusivity. And our message today, Bridging Paradox. I can't wait. I love Bridging Paradox. I didn't think you could do that, but I bet you she's got a good clue. Reverend Nadene. Reverend Nadene, can you hear us? Well, that sounds like an interesting lag. Ron and Nick, are you in communication with her? I think she must be on the phone. I apologize. We seem to be having some technical difficulties at the moment. I know I have technical difficulties.
Oh my goodness.
As long as we don't have Nadene difficulties, we're good. Reverend Nadene.
Good morning, everybody. Ron just told me I was on. I was watching my Facebook feed of the service and totally enjoying Reverend Queen Michelle. So there you go. There's a lag in time from San Jose to Kelowna. All right, now that we've got that established, welcome. I am so glad to be here with you today. You know, we're all invited to center ourselves at this time, which everyone's been doing a great job contributing to. I love the meditation this morning, the songs that are being sung, and the welcoming invocation by Debbie. It was just great. Thank you very much. You know, I think we're centering ourselves in what? You know, just in the awareness and the remembering of our true essence. And I think when we are at one in the flow of that, you know, universal creativity and infinite possibility, we get to define and claim newly. So let's start making room for the wonderful things that life presents to us that are always there, ready for our making. I like to remember on Sundays that Centers for Spiritual Living holds a common vision for our world, which is a world that works for everyone. And to me, that means a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with his or her highest spiritual values, cultivating a loving and respectful unity among us all. So now today we are coming to the actual close of our 3-month exploration on Unify, which is the second step in spiritual mind treatment, our affirmative prayer methodology and practice. Unify, cultivating inclusivity. And so I'm going to repeat at the end a statement I have referred to in my talks over the last 3 months. Dr. Ernest Holmes teaches us that inclusion is rooted in the belief that all life is one. And because all life is an expression of the one infinite mind, today I chose the concept of bridging paradox as it is a plaguing perception that we all place upon the world of condition, which lies seemingly in contrast to the concept of oneness. Now, at this moment, I'm going to remind me and you that within oneness is multiplicity, yet in accordance to this principle that doesn't allude to opposition or contrast or separation in and of itself, as only our belief system can cause our perception and labeling of people, places, and things in our life. Now, from a spiritual perspective, a paradox is an apparent contradiction that points to a deeper truth beyond ordinary either-or thinking, dualistic thinking. It invites us to move beyond the limits of the rational mind into a more expansive understanding. Many spiritual traditions use paradox because ultimate reality is often described as too vast to be fully captured by logic alone. So a paradox is not necessarily a problem to solve, but a truth to contemplate. One example I might give you is strength through weakness. We've probably used that one, right? Admitting vulnerability can become the source of courage and transformation. Another one might be still, yet act. Inner stillness, this means like inner stillness can coexist with purposeful action. And one of my personal favorites, to find your life, you must lose it. Well, for this, I understand it to mean the ego experiences surrender as loss, while the spirit experiences it as freedom. Spiritually, paradox often reveals that two seemingly opposite realities can both be true at the same time. So instead of choosing one side, wisdom holds them together. So a way to illustrate this might be, a paradox is like a doorway where the mind reaches its limit and the spirit begins to perceive a greater reality. This is seen really as an invitation, don't you think, to trust that reality is richer than our categories. And the intellect remains very valuable in us, but it is complemented, of course, by intuition, direct experience, and contemplation. So in the sense, paradox is not confusion. It is just an invitation to a deeper level of understanding where truth can be both mysterious and coherent at the same time. You know, in my journey, I have come to believe that we perceive paradox and sense of separation as confusion, resistance, even fear, when we are in that liminal space between the knowing and the not knowing. And that infinite intelligence within us provides the bridge for us to cross upon, always, whether we're consciously calling upon it or not, or even when we're aware of it or not. So here's a teaching story that speaks to bridging paradox, showing us how to live in the world and not be of it, as it is stated, and it's entitled The Bridge of Two Truths. It starts with a student, always the student, who climbs a mountain, often the mountain, right, to visit a very old, often old teacher. Now, the student says to the teacher, "I have traveled for weeks. Tell me the highest spiritual truth." And the teacher pointed to a river below. He says, "Cross it." The student looked around and said, "There's no bridge." The teacher said, "Then build one." And the student spent 3 days gathering stones, laying them carefully across the current, And then when he finally crossed, exhausted but proud, the teacher was waiting on the opposite bank. "You've done well," the teacher said. "Now throw the bridge into the river." The student stared at him in disbelief rather. He said, I worked so hard at this." "Yes," said the teacher. "It helped me cross." "Yes," said the teacher. "And others could use it." "Perhaps," said the teacher. "So why? Why destroy it?" "Well," the teacher smiled and he said, "because you have mistaken what carried you for where you are going." The student protested still. "If bridges are to be discarded, why build them?" The teacher picked up 2 stones. Holding one in each hand, he said, "This stone says nothing matters. This stone says everything matters." "Well," said the student, "which is true?" The teacher took the stones, struck them together, and their sharp sound echoed across the valley. "The meeting is true." He tossed one stone into the river, and the other he placed in the student's hand. And he said to him, "When you cling to either, you become trapped. When you can hold both without tearing yourself apart, a bridge appears." So, of course, we pay it forward, and years later, the student became a teacher, and people often asked, "How can I find peace?" Well, he never told them to seek certainty. Instead, he would walk them to the river and said, "Some build bridges, some swim. Some discover they had been standing on the far shore all along, and to each he bowed, not because their paths were the same, but because every sincere crossing reveals the same mystery, which is, the bridge exists to unite opposites, yet its greatest purpose is to disappear once the separation it served is no longer believed." I'm going to repeat that. The bridge we build exists to unite opposites, yet its greatest purpose is to disappear once the separation it served, the belief in 2 things instead of 1, is no longer. So let's break this down. After that story, I asked myself, okay, so how does one consciously bridge paradox to sense and trust that there is only one thing going on? How do we begin to perceive the cause in the effect, and therefore the quantum field of potentiality right in the sensing of the separation? The separation we feel when we perceive paradox. Well, paradox often marks the point where our habitual way of dividing reality into separate pieces becomes insufficient. So paradox is the threshold, the stepping off to greater realization point, not the limiting our life or affirming a limited belief system. Paradox is the springboard pointing toward expanded awareness. If there is only one thing going on, then every apparent opposition, self and another, cause and effect, inner and outer, matter and spirit, must be expressions of a single unfolding reality. And the paradox arises because our perception naturally organizes experience into distinctions. And those distinctions are useful, yes, of course, for navigating the world, but they are not the whole story. All right, so how can we bridge paradox? So let's first look at that concept I mentioned, cause and effect. Now, ordinarily, we think of cause equals effect. That's what we teach in Science of Mind. There's always an invisible cause before the visible effect. But if reality is deeply connected, then each effect also reveals something about its cause. Like a footprint points to the walker, or a wave expresses the ocean, right? So from that perspective, every experience can be understood as expressing conditions that gave rise to it. Spiritually, however, some would go a step further. And they would say that each moment expresses the whole. Now, in that view, the effect is not separate from its source at all. There's no need to point to anything, right? Just as a ray of sunshine is not separate from the sun. So that's the first way of bridging paradox, looking at cause and effect as one thing. The second one is, I would say, through direct observation. Now, meaning rather than trying to resolve the paradox conceptually, instead we observe the experience itself. Just observe the experience. So suppose you feel separation. Instead of asking maybe, how do I get rid of this? You might ask, who is thinking? What is aware of the feeling of separation? And does that awareness itself feel divided? Can the sensation of separation exist even without awareness containing it? Now, this shifts the attention from the content of experience, which means the feeling of separation, to the context in which it appears, awareness. So putting the first two concepts together, which were cause in effect and direct observation, we could look at an actual method of practical inquiry that might go like this. You could try this. See if it makes sense to you. When you notice separation, sense the experience fully without trying to resolve it. Just be in it, with it. Be present with it. And then notice the awareness in which the experience is occurring. Ask whether the awareness itself is divided or whether the division appears within it. Rest with the question rather than forcing an answer. And observe whether the paradox softens. Observe the awareness, the thinker behind the thought, whether now the observation of what you call the paradox or the feeling of separation softens. Not because it is being solved intellectually, and this is a big point, but because the experience is being held in a broader context. The edges are dissolving. Right? You know, many contemplative traditions suggest that this kind of inquiry gradually will transform paradox from a contradiction into a pointer, right? I said earlier, the paradox is you crossing the threshold, pointing toward the greater awareness of the evolution and the power that lives within our awareness to choose newly, then your old ideas, your old limited ideas and labeling of what is based on a feeling of separation, right? So as the opposites themselves may not disappear, you can begin to experience them as complementary expressions of reality. That is a richer reality than either side alone, right? So you're holding them together, the two stones smacking together that echoes across the canyon. Now this, what I've just shared, speaks to the intellectual understanding of how we can bridge paradox, but let's balance that with the experiential, shall we? So I wanted to know, to be able to share with you, how we can learn to bridge paradox through spiritual practice. And which spiritual practices would be more useful to support our intention of learning to bridge paradox? I think that is an important question, and I needed to ask myself that because there are so many that we rely on, depend upon, choose, that are familiar, that are easy, that have brought us insight, but which ones? And so I did some research, and knowing that my shift in the question was moving from the goal of solving paradox to becoming capable of living it consciously, in the knowing that paradox is not an obstacle to awakening, but a part of the path itself, right? So we're not resisting. So one way I learned to understand this is that spiritual practice gradually develops, right, the capacity to hold two perspectives and hold them at once, all at once, without collapsing into either one, right? And so those are the spiritual practices I wanted to share with you today. I'm going to give you an example, however. One is, for instance, I am an individual and I participate in something larger than myself. Another idea that illustrates this might be I am changing and there is continuity in my experience. So the practice is less about choosing one statement over the other than about learning when and how each perspective is useful. So here are some of the methods that I researched that I'm bringing to you. One is, and I use this probably most often for myself, it's resting in the mystery, right? It's called contemplative silence, learning to rest in that mystery. So rather than seeking answers, sitting quietly with a paradoxical question. Again, I'm going to repeat, who is aware of this experience, right? And here's a good one. What remains when every thought changes? The awareness remains, right? And this question gives me the sense of being both finite and connected to something greater. So it asks us, instead of answering our questions in this contemplative inquiry, just to allow the questions to deepen my attention, right? And I find most often when I use contemplative silence, insight will often arise because my mind stops trying to force a conclusion. The second one, which I know all of us use a lot, is loving kindness. Paradox, as you know, often contracts the mind into analysis, but compassion broadens it, right? So as we practice loving kindness towards ourselves, others, and even those we disagree with, it can make it easier to tolerate ambiguity without becoming defensive. And the third spiritual practice I wanted to share was developing paradox capacity. So you might think of spiritual maturity as expanding your ability to remain present when opposites appear, right? That's a tall order just in and of itself. But here's an invitation. Instead of saying either this or that, you begin asking, in that presence, in what way might both reveal different aspects of reality? Now, this does not mean accepting genuine contradictions indiscriminately. It means really recognizing that some tensions arise because different descriptions illuminate different levels or aspects of experience, which again are based in personal perception of the condition. In other words, believing only what I see. So tensions arise for me when I experience or sense the separation or the contradiction of appearance with truth based on believing what I see rather than seeing from the conscious belief mindset or mental atmosphere that I work on developing, which is in alignment with truth. So here's another story. Now this one too addresses the holding of space for truth in all, from all. It's called The Lantern and the Window. So I think this is a different young person seeking a different elder. But either way, the seeker's carrying a bright lantern. And he walks up to the elder and he says, I trust only what I can see. If my eyes cannot confirm it, how can I know it's real? The elder nodded and waited until night had fallen. And then he took the young seeker into an old temple. The elder lit the lantern, and its warm circle illuminated the stone floor. He said, what do you see? And the seeker said, columns, walls, the path before us. Good, said the elder. Then the elder led the student or seeker to a great window. And the great window was overlooking the valley, and the moon had risen, bathing the mountains in silver. Now he said, hold the lantern to the glass. The seeker did, and instantly the window became a mirror, and he saw only his face reflected in the glass. He said, the mountains have disappeared. Have they? Said the elder. The elder then extinguished the lantern. The reflection vanished, and the moonlit valley stretched endlessly before them. The mountains were never gone, the elder said, only your own light prevented you from seeing them. The seeker frowned. So does that mean that my senses deceive me? That's an important question. The elder shook his head. Of course not. The lantern did exactly what lanterns are meant to do. It revealed what was near. It simply could not reveal what was beyond its own brightness. Well, the seeker grew quiet. And then he said, so should I put out the lantern forever? And the elder smiled and he said, not unless you wish to stumble in the dark. He relit the lantern and placed it at the seeker's feet. And he said, the lantern is your senses. Honor them. They help you walk through the world of form. And then he pointed beyond the window. The moonlight is spiritual discernment. It does not replace the lantern. It reveals a greater horizon. And the seeker asked, well, how do I know which light to trust? And the elder replied, when you seek to avoid a stone on the path, trust the lantern. When you seek to know who you are, look through the window. When you make a mistake, the lantern for the only light, the world becomes small. And when you reject the lantern because you long for the moon, you fall over the stones. Wisdom is neither blindness to matter nor bondage to it. Wisdom knows that the one light serves through many lamps. So years later, the seeker realized that the elder had never asked him to choose between the senses and the spirit. He had only shown him their proper relationship. The senses gather information, the spirit gives it meaning. The senses tell us what appears, and the spirit discerns what endures. And when the two are held together, not as enemies, but as partners or sacred complements to the whole, the world itself becomes a window through which the eternal quietly shines. So I couldn't end without mentioning the role of trust. Trust in bridging paradox or in cultivating inclusivity, which to me means room for all of it. I think trust is often misunderstood as believing something without evidence. But spiritually, trust can also mean remaining open while understanding is still unfolding, right? And many traditions will describe wisdom as not eliminating paradox, but as becoming spacious enough to contain it. In that view, the bridge is not built by making paradox disappear. It is built by developing a way of seeing in which apparent opposites can be understood within a wider horizon, allowing discernment to emerge without rushing to closure. Allowing discernment to emerge without us rushing for closure. And now we close. And so it is. So please join me for just a moment more in consciousness, knowing that as we honor ourselves, as we honor life, as we trust the universal creative process evolving within us and life, in complete and exacting accordance with what we have agreed upon within our own mental atmosphere, it is always moving to the ultimate of possibility and potentiality, of which is eternal within itself and produces the highest and best result possible. So knowing this, and that there's only one mind and one God, and this is our mind, our part of using the one mind, and that one mind in its fullness moving through us. We open our mind. We open that heart, that channel, that portal through trust, through understanding our right relationship to the all, to the eternal, so that we may enjoy these beautiful appearances and things in life that come to us that we expect, that we don't expect, that surprise us, that upset us, that challenge us, that comfort us. And we can say yes to the awe of life because we are the one that is aware. We are that thinker behind the thought. And we can rest in the beautiful knowing of the relationship as to the wave with the ocean and the sun ray to the sun. That there is nothing within or without us that is not happening and evolving in divine right timing and right action. So together in gratitude and joy for this moment now and for exactly who we are and exactly what life is presenting to us in this moment, we say thank you, Spirit. Thank you. And we allow this truth to move on the wings of the words which have power that we speak and that we claim and that we embody. And then we let God do what God does. And in this, we are free. And so it is. Amen.
Take me higher, Spirit, take me higher, Spirit, take me higher, take me higher today. Spirit, light my fire. Every voice. Spirit, light my fire, light my fire. Spirit, light my fire. Spirit, light my fire. Spirit, light my fire. Light my fire today. Every voice, Spirit, keep me inspired. Spirit, let's bring it down a little bit. Keep me inspired. Spirit, keep me inspired. Every voice, Spirit, keep me inspired. Keep me inspired. Keep me inspired today. Glory to God in the highest. 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 Glory, glory to God in the highest. To God in the highest. To God in the highest today. Just nice and easy. Spirit, take me higher. Spirit, take me higher. Spirit, take me higher. Spirit, take me higher. Take me higher. Take me higher. And take me higher. Take me higher. Take me higher today.
And higher we are. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Reverend Nadene. I love learning about paradox and just even recognizing that two apparent disparate things can be true at the same time and helping us find a way to hold those together. It's now time for our conscious giving and an opportunity to participate and recognize the law of circulation. Even though we've been taught that it is better to give than to receive, the most important idea is often missed. Knowing that we must receive first in order to give from a feeling of abundance. So we invite you to receive a blessing of joy from your higher self. Keep it with you all week long and remember how much you are loved. Once you have drawn your joy blessing out of the small basket, you may leave your offering in the second basket underneath to complete the law of circulation through giving back. Ushers, please circulate the baskets. I invite you to invoke the feeling of gratitude through thoughts of life's abundance right where you are, allowing that to fill you and the space around you.
Can't understand why we treat each other in this way. Taking up time with the silly, silly games we play. We've got our No matter what we do, we are one. Our love will see us through, we are one. And that's the way it is, we are one. We are one. From the very start, we are one. Deep down in our hearts, and that's the way it is, we are one. Let's say it again, we are one. Hey, no matter what we do, our love will see us through. We are one. And that's the way it is. We are one. Hey, we are one. From the very start, we are one. Love will see us through. We are one. And that's the way it is. We are one. Oh, let's say it one more time. We are one. Nice and easy, nice and easy. We are one. We are one.
We As your word has power, please join in blessing the offertory by saying together our prosperity affirmation. The words are on your screen. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world, and it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And now, I'm going to tell you about all the wonderful things that are happening here at the center. We've got a lot going on, as you have probably noticed. Today is the concluding day of our spring outreach project, Letters to the Troops. So there's tables just out here in Fellowship Hall where we're writing letters that will be sent on to our troops. It means a tremendous amount to them. So please take a moment and write a brief note. There's some guidelines, there's cards, there's pens. The whole thing is there for you. So please take a moment for that. Starting next week in July, the Animal Connections Group will be doing a drive for our furry friends in Santa Clara County. They will be looking for blankets, towels, cat food and dog food, and pet toys. Please see Debbie Belmesseri for more details. Coming up, starting Thursday evenings, July 23rd, Beyond Limits will be our foundational class offering. This is a transformative 8-week hybrid course on Thursday evenings from 6 to 8:30 and will be facilitated by our very own Reverend Jennifer Bick and accompanied by TA Julia Smith. This class introduces the foundational teachings of science of mind and explores how spiritual principles can be applied to everyday living. If you've ever sensed there's more to life than simply getting through the day, this class is an invitation to explore beyond those limits. The investment for that class is $195, and there are a number of payment options are being offered. We also have a new event coming up in a couple of weeks on July 12th, Kirtan, Cosmic Chanting and Meditation, with Dave and Kim Sherry Marichot. This is going to be 12:30 to 2 p.m. right here in the sanctuary. This is an opportunity for sound, to experience sound and vibration as the most powerful force in the universe. Music is a divine art to be used not only for pleasure, but as a path to God realization. You will experience immersion in the bliss of singing the names of the divine beloved. Be guided in gentle hatha yoga stretches to support chanting and meditation, and experience the natural flow of meditative awareness through these supportive ancient practices. Love offerings are appreciated. Today we have our monthly community potluck out in Fellowship Hall after service. Please join us there to grab a bite and say hi. Join us in fellowship. That will be followed by our semi-monthly town hall meeting, which will be held back in here in the sanctuary at 12:30. Please stick around and join us for that. So there's potluck, there's letters to the troops to write. You'll get to see me again at 12:30, so you have to stick around for that. Continuing conversations with our ministers during the potluck will return next month. I'd like to remind you that links to register for any of the events I've spoken about and other upcoming events can be found on our website, which has a complete calendar of our upcoming events and classes. You're also free to visit the concierge desk out in Fellowship Hall, where you can ask questions and look at that more directly as you wish. Remember also that you can find a recording of today's celebration services and past services on our website, YouTube channel, and on our Facebook page. Debbie Slayton, would you like to return to the stage for our closing?
Boy, have we got wisdom from today. Okay. Repeat after me. If you, everyone would please stand. And repeat after me. My every moment is expressing my wholeness.
My every moment is expressing my wholeness.
Everything matters and nothing matters, and I am the bridge.
Everything matters and nothing matters, and I am the bridge.
I honor my lantern and the moonlight.
I honor my lantern and the moonlight.
And finally, today I rest in the mystery.
Today I rest in the mystery.
And so it is.
Thank you.
For coming today. Happy Sunday. Please join us in Fellowship Hall for this amazing community potluck.
And let's acknowledge our youth that have just joined us in the room this evening,
Come on in, guys.
this morning. We want to welcome them. And as we leave, let's say again, I am.
Day. Yes. And so it is.